In the deep, humid jungles of Campeche, Mexico, the forest floor is a deception. To the untrained eye, it is just soil, roots, and decaying leaves. But beneath the boots of modern explorers walking the ancient city of Yaxnoca, the dirt holds a memory that has lasted for 2,000 years. We often think of archaeology as the study of hard things. We look for limestone pyramids that pierce the canopy. We look for jade masks, obsidian blades, and painted ceramics. These are the things that survive the relentless, acidic hunger of the tropical earth. The soft things, the wood, the textiles, the food, and the plants usually rot away within decades, leaving a silence in the historical record. But that silence has just been broken. In a discovery that is currently rewriting the rulebook of how we study the past, researchers have used environmental DNA to pull a ghost out of the ground. Beneath the stone floor of a ceremonial Ballcourt, they didn't find gold or skeletons. They found a specific, intentional bundle of 4 plants, sealed in the earth as a spiritual technology to power the portal to the Underworld. Today we are going deep into the soil of the gods to understand how a molecular time capsule has revealed the psychedelic and medicinal engineering of the ancient Maya. To understand why this discovery is so significant, we first have to shift our perspective on where this happened. Yaxnoca was a major urban center, a nexus of power that thrived from the pre-classic period. Like all great Maya cities, its heart was the ceremonial center, and central to that heart was the Ballcourt. If you have seen illustrations of the Maya ball game, called pits or pocatalk, you might view it through the lens of modern sports. It looks like a mix of soccer and basketball played with a heavy rubber ball. But to the Maya, a ball court was not a stadium. It was a liminal space. It was a physical crack in the earth that served as a direct portal to Xibalba, the Underworld. The game was a ritual reenactment of the cosmic struggle between the hero twins and the Lords of Death. It was necessary to keep the sun rising and the rain falling. You could not simply stack stones to build such a place. You could not just pave a floor and expect the gods to attend. The space had to be sanctified. It had to be ensouled. And that is where the science begins. Between 2016 and 2022, a team led by researchers from the University of Cincinnati and Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History were excavating the Helena complex at Yaxnoca. They were working on a plaza floor constructed around 80 CE. As they lifted the limestone pavement of the Ballcourt, they noticed a dark, organic, rich stain in the soil. In the past, archaeology might have noted this simply as organic matter and moved on. The physical plants were long gone, eaten by time. But the researchers suspected that while the fibers were gone, the genetic instructions of the plants might remain. They turned to environmental DNA, or eDNA. This is a technology that has transformed forensics and ecology, and it operates on a simple premise. Every living thing sheds DNA. Animals shed skin and hair. Plants shed pollen, leaves, and root cells. This genetic material settles into the soil and binds to clay particles, which protects the sequence of life long after the organism has decayed. The team collected small samples of this dark sediment and treated them with a preservative called RNA to stop the DNA from degrading any further. Back in the lab, they didn't just look for any DNA. They used specific genetic probes designed to latch onto plant genetics. By sequencing the fragmented codes found in that pinch of ancient dirt and comparing them to the massive GenBank database, they identified 4 distinct species. These were not random jungle weeds that had grown through the cracks. These were 4 specific plants with deep cultural and chemical significance, gathered together and buried with intent. Let's break down this botanical bundle, because the specific combination of plants tells us a story about what the Maya were trying to achieve. The first and perhaps most sensational find in the bundle was Ipomea corymbosa, known to the Maya as Ixtabentun. This is a species of morning glory, a delicate vine with white bell-shaped flowers, but its beauty hides a potent chemical engine. The seeds of this plant contain ergin, an alkaloid that is structurally very similar to LSD. When prepared and ingested, it produces vivid hallucinations, auditory distortions, and a trance-like state. In Maya shamanism, priests did not just pray to the gods, they visited them. Ethnobotany was the vehicle for this travel. It allowed the shaman to step outside of time and negotiate with the forces of the universe. Finding this beneath the Ballcourt suggests that the ground itself was consecrated to facilitate a connection with the other world, acting as a hallucinogenic foundation for the spiritual warfare of the ball game. But the vision was not enough. Protection was also required. The second plant identified was capsicum, the chili pepper. Now to us, a chili is food. To the ancient Maya, it was a powerful medicine and a spiritual weapon. Chilies contain capsaicin, which we know releases endorphins and acts as a pain reliever. However, in Maya ethnomedicine, chilies are associated with warding off illness and evil winds. They are considered hot in the humoral sense, capable of burning away negativity. Placing chilies in the foundation of the Ballcourt was likely a protective measure, a spiritual antiseptic to keep malevolent spirits from interfering with the games, or perhaps to protect the players who were engaging in a sport that could literally end in death. The third plant gives us a clue as to how these items were deposited. It was Hampea trilobata, a tree known locally as jewel. This tree is deeply woven into Maya material culture. Its bark fibers are strong and were used to make twine and baskets, while its large leaves were traditionally used to wrap food or ceremonial offerings, much like a tamale wrapper. The presence of jewel DNA suggests that the hallucinogens and medicines were not thrown loosely into the pit. They were likely carefully wrapped in a fresh jewel leaf bundle or placed in a basket woven from its bark. This reinforces the idea of a medicine bundle, a self-contained spiritual offering designed to hold the power of the plants together. The final component of the bundle brings a darker tone to the discovery. It was Oxandra lanceolata, also known as lancewood. This is a tree with oily leaves and dense, hard wood. Chemically, the leaves act as a vasodilator and an anesthetic. Symbolically, the wood of this tree was prized for making spears and lances. In the context of a ballcourt, a place of symbolic combat and occasional sacrifice, the presence of spearwood is incredibly potent. Furthermore, its anesthetic properties might link it to bloodletting rituals. Maya elites frequently pierced their tongues, ears, or genitals, using obsidian lancets to offer blood to the gods. An anesthetic plant would be a logical companion to the blade, numbing the flesh to allow the payment of blood to flow. So why bury this specific cocktail of hallucination, protection, containment, and bloodletting beneath a ballcourt? The answer lies in the Maya concept of the animate universe. For the Maya, buildings were not inanimate objects. A temple, a house, or a ballcourt was a living entity with a soul. However, this soul was not automatic. It had to be activated. When a new structure was built or expanded, it underwent a process known as a fix-earth ritual. This is similar to the christening of a ship or the laying of a cornerstone, but with much higher stakes. The ritual bundle found at Yaxnoka was likely an offering to the lords of the Underworld, a payment for the privilege of building on their domain. By planting hallucinogens, which bridged the gap to the spirit world, alongside protective chilies and ceremonial wrappings, the Maya were feeding the building. They were imbuing the ballcourt with the power to function as a sacred space. They were turning a stone floor into a battery of spiritual energy. This discovery at Yaxnoka is a watershed moment for science and history. For decades, archaeologists have been limited to what they can see with their eyes. The soft history of the Maya has largely been a mystery, but the successful extraction of plant DNA from tropical soils proves that the organic history of the Maya is not lost. It is merely hidden. This opens up incredible possibilities. We can now potentially sample soil from ancient plazas to see exactly what vegetables, fruits, and herbs were being sold in the markets. We can test the soil of ancient agricultural terraces to understand the farming strategies that sustained millions of people. We can identify the specific ingredients of ritual intoxicants, confirming historical accounts that were previously dismissed as exaggerations by Spanish conquistadors. When the Maya players of Yaxnoca stepped onto that court 2,000 years ago, the rubber ball bouncing against the stone walls echoed the movement of the stars. They played on top of a secret. Beneath their feet, encased in the earth, was a bundle of morning glory and chili, a silent prayer ensuring that the portal remained open, that the gods were listening, and that the sun would rise again. Today, the stone rings of the Ballcourt may be broken, and the players long gone, but thanks to the molecular memory of the soil, the prayer still speaks. It reminds us that for the Maya, the physical and the spiritual were inextricably bound, woven together like the fibers of the jewel tree, rooted in a land that remembers everything.